It is difficult to imagine what could happen to a person's mind if they spent their entire life in captivity in complete solitude. And if an animal finds itself in such a situation, would it be able to survive and maintain faith in people? This happened to a dog, and the story is simply incredible. It's hard to believe, but it really did happen. A man was taking a shortcut behind an abandoned building when he heard a plaintive whimpering, but he couldn't find the source of the sound. A week later, he took the same route and heard the sound again, but this time he decided to further investigate where the sound was coming from. The man walked back and forth several times, but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. However, the sounds continued, and he finally realized they were coming from below the ground. He found a deserted bathroom in the old building and looked down a drain in the floor. What he saw there shocked him. From below, two eyes were looking up at him hopefully. It was a dog. The man tried to reach the lonely animal, but she wouldn't fit through. How did she manage to get down there? He came to the conclusion that the dog must have fallen through the hole while she was still a small puppy, but now she had grown too large to get back out. The man brought the dog food and water and carefully lowered it down to her. She ate it all greedily and looked up again hopefully at him. He didn't know how else he could help her, as the pit was made of concrete and he did not have access to the proper equipment to break through. So the dog remained in her prison. People brought her food and water, but no one was able to get her out. Until one day, one man could no longer stand it. He hired a huge excavator with his own money. On the appointed day, the rescue operation began. A lot of people showed up to help. Someone stayed near the hole to comfort the dog, other people helped dig, and veterinarians stood nearby, ready to provide medical attention to the animal. While the excavator began to dig into the ground, the dog became noticeably nervous, rushing from corner to corner, but the human voices from above calmed her and gave her hope. After the excavator broke through, the men proceeded to chisel the concrete. The dog moved a safe distance away and patiently waited. When the hole was finally big enough for a man to get his arm through, he offered the dog treats, but she hid in the corner and was afraid to come near. So they continued to chisel the hole wider so that someone could crawl inside. When the man climbed inside, he was simply shocked at the conditions in which this poor animal had to live. The entire floor was covered with her feces, the smell was terrible, and the animal looked at him with apprehension, but did not show any aggression. Gently picking up the dog in his arms, the man finally pulled her out. Once free, the dog was visibly anxious, but appeared to be quite friendly. She freely allowed the veterinarians to examine her. To their surprise, the animal was almost completely healthy, with the exception of matted fur and skin irritation due to her long life in unsanitary conditions. After careful grooming, the dog was sent to the rehabilitation center for animals in difficult life situations. There, she quickly recovered, and after a few months, she fully adapted to the world above ground. In total, the dog spent 2,555 days in the concrete pit. That is 7 years, half of a lifetime for a dog. Thank goodness that one man decided to help this animal in need. If it hadn't been for him, that poor dog may never have seen the light of day or experienced a person's warm embrace. Friends, let's all be a little more caring and come to the aid of those who need it. Sometimes even a small act of kindness can save someone's life. And life, as you know, is the most valuable thing on earth.